Hi everybody, I'm Biliana. Okay, so have you guys ever been in like a toxic relationship with like a guy or girl, or maybe you even have been in like a toxic friendship? And you kind of look back at memories with that person and you think to yourself like, oh, it wasn't that bad, like we had some really good times and I really miss them, and so on and so forth. But you tend to forget how you felt in the moment that you were with them, and you kind of felt whether it was like neglect or like you guys just didn't get along, you guys had a lot of problems. Well, the good memories and the good feelings that you have are called nostalgia. And nostalgia is just a longing for a sentimental moment you had with somebody in the past. And nostalgia can cause you to do things that you regret or you kind of want to take back. And so I have a quote here by George W. Ball that says, "Nostalgia is a seductive liar," which basically means that in that toxic relationship, you guys may have like had a lot of issues or a lot of problems or whatever it was, and you just kind of came to the conclusion that you two were not good together, you're not meant for each other. But looking back at the good memories and the good times, like you kind of convince yourself that like it wasn't as bad as you thought it was, and that's because of nostalgia. So the lying part, saying like, because you're kind of deceived by all the good moments and because of the memories and the good times you guys had together, you fail to like, your brain kind of fails to remember all the negative impact, like the negative impacts it had on you, or like how you felt in that moment. And so it's kind of like a tricky situation because your brain kind of tricks you into thinking that you miss it and that you want it back when really it's not for you, and in reality like you came to the conclusion with a clear head that it's not something you were meant to, like it's not a situation you were meant to be in or somebody you're meant to be with, but the nostalgia kind of tricks you into thinking that you need it or you want it back in your life when necessarily that's not always the case. Thank you.
Nope, you get to keep that.
Oh,
No, we still have like 3 or 4 more people. Unfortunately, sorry about that, folks. All right, well, we don't need the personal greeting. We've met you before. That's okay. The rhetorical question I thought was okay, asking about a toxic relationship. I think it might have been a good idea for you to use a toxic relationship as an example for your attention device. Think of somebody that you had a relationship with. Tell us a little bit about them, why it was a toxic relationship, and how you sometimes were fooled by the nostalgia of remembering things that you did and ignoring the bad things, and then get to your definitional issue, which I think you do a pretty good job on. You do a nice job kind of defining what nostalgia is, tying it into the theme that you have here, and I see that you generally agree with the quote that's being presented. There's not a lot of structure to the presentation, but there is a lot of thought in some of the ideas that you have, but because they tend to be, like pat aphorisms, which are perfectly reasonable, they lack any specificity in terms of examples, which gives you less to talk about than you might have had. Your presentation, your voice is relatively quiet and calm, and I thought that you sounded like you felt comfortable while you were speaking. There's plenty of fluency in the presentation. I am going to mention something. You may not notice it. This is one of the reasons why you need to watch the videos. I think you think you're looking at us, and you're not. You're looking down in front of us. You don't really look up, and I get the feeling like you're talking to us through your eyelids. Because even though your eyes are open and you move your face back and forth, it's like you are just You know, you're checking out everybody's shoes in the front row and not people who are sitting in the different parts of the audience, and you need to pay attention to doing that and fixing that in the future. All right, thank you all very much.